You ready for this? All right. The statements issued by hosts, co-hosts, guests, and anyone else appearing on the show do not reflect the stance of the College of New Jersey or the NJDOE OSE. Please use your professional judgment when implementing strategies and resources within your practice. Hey listeners, Brian from the future here. You're tuning into part 3 of episode 7, the grand finale, where we do 2 rounds of rapid fire questions, playing a game called Myth or Masterpiece, and wrapping it up with some forward-looking questions. If you missed parts 1 or 2, be sure to go back and listen to them first. You'll find the links in the episode description below. So I like to do rapid fire questions. First set are going to be kind of fun and personal. Second set is going to be AT and AAC focused, and it's just something fun we do kind of near the end of the podcast. So, ready?
Scared and ready. Yes.
I'm
All right.
scared.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Do you have a certain way you like it?
Black.
Okay. Beach or mountain vacation?
Beach or mountain? Oh,
Yes.
beach. It's hard.
Cool. Sweet
hard.
or savory snacks?
Sweet.
That's a
These
hard
are
one.
torture. These are torture. I'm not a black and white thinker.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Do you have a dog or do you have a cat or any animals?
My parents have a dog that I made them get before I moved out. I was like, I'm moving. Someone has to take my place. Our childhood dog passed forever ago. Like we need a little guy in here. Yeah, he's great. His name's George.
Favorite season?
Summer.
Even in New York City?
Yes, which shows you how much I love summer because it is
Yeah, definitely.
painful.
Yeah. Podcast or music for a commute?
Music.
Cool. Do you have a favorite artist or music you like to listen to?
So many. I love my Discover Weekly usually at the beginning of the week, and then I love doing like artist radios because I feel like they're full of surprises, but welcome ones.
Yes. Call or text?
Text.
Favorite book or author? That's what I've been giving to because I know.
Oh, that's so
Or
hard.
favorite
Like,
TV show.
Okay, that's a good one too. Book,
oh,
author,
okay,
TV
I'll
show.
do that. Well, currently I'm watching too much on Netflix. And everybody, no. I'm so sorry. The name of the show is literally Too Much.
Oh, okay.
And Netflix, Lena Dunham, written, directed, I think. I'm not sure if I'm completely accurate, but it's unbelievable. I can stop thinking about it.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Flying.
Ooh, I think I said the same thing.
Yeah, that one just feels like special. Like flying / teleporting. I don't know if I can.
One or
Like
the
that.
other. You got to pick
One
one.
or the other.
It's black or white.
Oh, okay. That's like practicality versus like enjoying the journey. I'll stick with flying. That was my gut.
Good choice. Good choice.
Yes. I agree with enjoying the journey. That's a great way to think about it.
Yeah, we'll do that.
What's your favorite low-tech? So this is now we're going to talk about some AT and AAC focused. What's your favorite low-tech solution in your field?
Oh my gosh. My favorite like tech solution, definitely Maddie, you'll love this. Pod. Like Pod is pragmatically organized dynamic display. And
Love it.
if I could give the listeners like a little bit about it, it's like it's organized by kind of functions of speech or like types of communication of like, I've got a story to tell you, I want to do something, something's wrong. And I love it so much because that just totally facilitates communication. It's like a built-in script for the communication partner. And it like even just the way it's organized, the existence of all these categories and all the vocabulary on each page is like a reminder of like, oh my gosh, just because someone's like reaching or pointing something, like the function of that can be so many different things. Like, or if they keep saying ball, 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 it doesn't necessarily mean they want the ball. They have something to tell you about the ball. Are they thinking about a ball? Do they want to
It's
get
not
a
always
new
a
ball?
request.
And
Exactly. There's so
yes,
many more
exactly.
functions.
So I think it just like expands the communication partner's understanding of a communicator's potential and the way that language works. And it just like supports their interactions very flawlessly.
Cool. What's the biggest myth you'd like to bust about your profession?
There's so many.
There's so many. I feel like I chatted about some.
Shout whatever comes to mind. Shout it out.
Almost like this is,
First
I
one.
don't even know if this totally works, but I'm like, everything's a balance. And that again, we aren't always like focusing and drilling one thing, but we're doing a lot of things at once, and that we're reading the situation to know what to be working on that's going to be the most meaningful in that moment. Um, so I think just like when you see an SLP, besides maybe someone who's brand new and totally learning, but someone who's kind of figured out their clinical gut and like what they're doing, that they are like thinking really, really fast on their feet to be doing what's in the best interest of that person's learning and that person's communication. Um, and that there's a lot going on behind the scenes.
That's
The attention of
perfect.
the intention of all the interactions. Yeah.
That's perfect. That's perfect. What's the most exciting innovation you've seen recently?
Okay. Not this totally not even really communication related, but the more vision. Um I told Maddie this, but I'm going back to school to become a teacher of the visually impaired too, trying to add that to my toolbox. And so I've been
Awesome.
like on a lot of reels for that, obviously. And someone who had total blindness, um, I think was like a neurotypical individual at a basketball game. And like they have, I think it was even at MSG, like these boards that provide like haptic and tactile and like light up feedback that are like mirroring what's happening on the court. And he can like have it in his lap and like know which side scored or know um where the players are moving on the court. And I think like different stadiums are starting to do this. And I'm just like, that is it. That is everything. That's the coolest thing
So cool.
ever. Because like those moments of like getting to cheer at the same time as everyone else, or like getting to be included in that moment of like success and something that you're all there because you care about, and not being like delayed or having to ask someone like who scored, what happened, like that's what we're looking for. That's what we need AT for, is to be like, how can we make that so efficient and like give someone this information in a way that works for them, where they are like, where we're all just celebrating together, you know?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Board vision, is that called? What was that again?
I do not have the name. I feel like I've had no good official names. I'll send the reel to
You're okay.
Maddie.
All right. Yeah.
I think you told me
Uh,
about this.
Yeah,
And that's so cool.
it's
Cool.
so cool.
This is gonna be hard. I think this is gonna be really hard for you. One word to describe the future of your field.
Wait, one word to describe.
The future of the field.
Ooh,
Rapid fire. Come on. You got it.
let's rapid fire. Celebration. Celebration.
Perfect.
I
Love
just
that.
I
really
love it.
think we should be like celebrating everyone, and being really comfortable with ourselves in like what that looks like, and our curiosity. I changed it.
Curiosity.
I'm such a cheater. I'm such a cheater. I always do. Yeah, both of those. So
I love that. That's fine.
yeah, but I
2
just think
words.
like that like our attitude around like including and celebrating, being curious about people, I think is the most powerful thing that we can be bringing into any situation.
Okay. Good. All right.
Okay.
So we're gonna
Yeah.
play a game then. Is that okay with you?
Yes, please.
All right, cool. So this game is called Myth or Masterpiece. We're going to put your knowledge of AAC to the ultimate test. I'll read a statement. You'll describe if it's a myth, a common misconception, or a masterpiece, a true and important fact about AAC. Molly and Madison, you both can answer. Usually we have buzzers, so we're not going to have buzzers today. So the first person to say something can go. So get ready to think fast.
So I say if
Right.
it's a myth or a masterpiece.
Yeah, like true or false, basically. But you got to use myth or masterpiece. You got it?
Yes.
Cool. Using AAC will prevent or delay an individual from developing verbal speech.
Ready? Yeah.
We
Go.
can say it together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Myth.
Why is it a myth?
It has never providing someone access to communication and language in any form is not going to prevent or slow or delay it in any other form, especially at that age or early on. Like the access to language and the access to communication is like the skill that you're targeting and what you're working on. And the form it's going to take is going to be the most efficient for the individual, whatever it works on. Like the way the brain works, and like apologies, I'm not citing studies or something right now. I'm very much summarizing. But like the brain's going to want to do the thing that's like most efficient. So we need to like give people access to that. And if it grows, it's like, oh, now I have all this language and I'm ready to like, things have clicked and I'm ready to verbally communicate. That's what that individual is going to do.
Perfect. Good. Next one. An individual must have certain cognitive skills like understanding cause and effects before they can be a candidate for AAC. Maddie.
That's a myth. So there are no prerequisite skills for AAC. An individual can start their AAC journey at any time. And that's why we have the evaluation process to match the correct tool with the student and their environment and what they're trying to do. And that is communication. And that's, why we start usually with symbol-based communication, providing that, a picture-based symbol that relates to the meaning of that word. And as that, individual acquires, if they do acquire literacy skills, that's great. But, that is not a prerequisite.
Perfect.
And like, there's no better way for someone to learn cause and effect than to have access to this. Like
True.
it is the
Very
tool
true.
for learning. Like, yeah.
The term robust in AAC, so quote unquote robust, refers to a system that includes a large vocabulary of core and fringe words, allowing a user to say whatever they want.
Masterpiece.
Let's hear it, Ma. Yes.
I'm glad we got a nice formal definition because we were trying to define it earlier. To not be
jargony.
To not be jargony with that. Yeah.
Yeah, good. And it goes beyond just the like I go not, right? Like now I can talk about my fashion, right? Like I have a beautiful blue dress on, right? Or
right.
Well, I don't have a beautiful blue dress on, but
yeah, and those language functions we were talking about earlier, like with Pod, of like, do you have enough language and enough vocabulary to be forming questions, to be and or if you're someone, again, the balance of access of like if any movement or access is like the most extremely hard part of your story, maybe you have way more access to like phrases that you've picked out because the putting something together is just going to be too much of a burden on you. So we need to make sure that you have phrases that you love. So yeah, it being robust and like personalized is totally it.
Cool. Yeah, and if you think about how many different ways that someone who uses communicates verbally, how many different things that they have to say every day. We not only request, we communicate how we feel, we protest, we tell someone we don't like that, we ask questions, and the list goes on and on. So providing those AAC users with the same ability to create all those different communication functions.
Yes.
Next one. Once a student gets their AAC device, they should be able to use it perfectly and independently within a few weeks. Madison.
Myth. So you can't expect to throw something new in front of somebody and expect them to know exactly what to do without teaching them how to use it. And the same goes with an AAC device, and especially if they're just, this is their first exposure to AAC or language in general. So that training of communication partners as well to help facilitate that language expansion and growth is really important.
Cool. Next one. AAC is only for individuals who are completely nonverbal.
Myth.
Let's hear it.
Myth.
Myth.
Total myth. We love a total communication approach where someone has been exposed to and learned all the different ways they have in their tool belt to communicate, from facial expressions, verbalizations, word approximations, like eyes, AAC, verbal speech. Like, what's important is that someone has a toolbox, knows what's in it, and knows what works best for them with different people, in different settings, different scenarios. And there's absolutely no like value on what works the best for them, and it's what is most efficient for them, and it is what like gives them a sense of like control and autonomy in any of these situations. That is going to be the thing that they need.
That toolbox, I keep coming back to that all the time. I talk
Yeah.
about that with people so much. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not just one thing.
No.
Right.
And it's like, and then Maddie brought this up earlier, but again, we are like, we quote things all the time. We like just look at our friend across the room, like we're doing it all too. Like we all have toolboxes, and it like brings us joy also to be like, I can text someone this, I can call someone, tell them this. Like it is so fun and like part of who you are to be like thinking about how you're going to express something or what works for you to do this.
Cool. All right. 2 more questions. When a student has an AAC device, only the speech language pathologist should be in charge of it.
Myth. So like, as we have been talking about, it takes a village to facilitate this language expansion for this individual. We were talking about an individual who has just received an AAC device, and it's very new to them. And if they only got that language instruction, twice a week for 30 minutes, that's not going to be enough for that individual to grow their language skills. They need everybody on deck helping to, not only use the device and model on the device, but take care of the device, charge it, make sure the student has access to it at all times. And that SLP can help maybe drive that car and help train on individuals on how to best facilitate communication, how to maybe showing the parent how to add words or edit buttons if they feel comfortable, if the parent feels comfortable doing so. And, opening that up to the whole team is just really important and makes everyone feel comfortable with communication, with using AAC. So that's definitely a myth.
Good. Last one. An individual must master light tech AAC, like picture cards, before they can be introduced to a high-tech communication device. Molly.
Myth. Myth. Yeah, there's no rule book on where to start for anybody. I think what's interesting is we're seeing a lot of kids that are like really into technology now, or like know what an iPad is, and they're like, "Ooh, I want that." And it's like you can kind of make the call of like, wait, if they have this association of it being like something with a screen, LED screen that lights up, of like being just like this like leisureful thing, like maybe that's hard to shift away from. Maybe I should start with light tech symbols and just really focus on communication. Or maybe you have someone with a visual impairment and you're like, whoa, it's hard for
Mhm.
me to tell when they're tracking something or looking at something that they are so drawn to like the brightness of this screen or something. Like I'm gonna pull in high tech here um quicker, because I think that this technology is gonna kind of unlock some stuff for them. And there's no right place to start for anyone. The only foundations are like connecting with that individual that you're serving and like working on like the back and forth that is communication. Again, responding to anything that's not even light tech, the no tech stuff, the total communication we were talking about, knowing an individual knowing they'll be responded to and knowing that they're around people they trust are the only really first steps before any kind of AAC from light, mid to high. But there's no one place to start.
Perfect. Thank you for playing that game with us. You
Amazing.
guys
Sure.
both had some great answers for that. So just to wrap it up, and we talked about this a little bit, and if I don't know if you have anything to add to this. So if you don't, we can kind of skip this. But looking at the future of AAC, AT, what innovations, what shifts in perspective are you most excited about?
So I think like we've covered a lot of this like interdependence concept. Like we talk about presuming potential. Um and I really feel like that's something that is totally boiling up and like simmering through everywhere and it's so exciting and like that meaning that truly just like we believe that people can be taught things and can learn something. Um and like it doesn't mean you're like wiping out someone's disability and saying we're all exactly the same because no, we're all completely different. We have all different levels of interdependence, and that is really cool. But what everyone is capable of is like learning something in a way that they are able to and being taught something. And so that like wide like acceptance of like the things we cannot change and the um being able to like think really critically and therapeutically about like, okay, but the things that can like, how is this person going to learn it and how can we make it meaningful and like joining those two worlds together.
Awesome, awesome. One last question. For any parents, educators, or individuals listening who feel overwhelmed by the world of AT and AAC, what is one small, manageable first step they can take after listening to this episode?
That is a really good question. I think I'm going to say, besides like having whatever form of communication around, because like we said, that's a given or is always going to kind of be the thing. I think like, and this is something families encounter day to day, especially have someone in your family with um, complex communication needs or medical complexities. Um, but like just trying to remove that factor of time. Sometimes I understand that like we don't always have the luxury of going as slow as we want, but when there isn't a rush and there's nothing next, just like taking the time with this individual to see what they're going to show you, to talk through something together, like when it's an option to like not be like, well, our goal right now is to do this as fast as possible. When that's not what has to be happening, to allow yourselves the time to just like enjoy some silence and try it out together through a lot of like think alouds and just see what this person's going to show you and what's going to come up when that's an option.
Cool. Molly, thank you for this great conversation we had today. I loved everything, and you're so passionate about your students and this whole philosophy in AAC. So this was awesome. Is there anything else you want to tell us about? Anything you want to plug about yourself or life
Look,
or whatever?
no, I have that like training webinar. You can also I do have like I just have a few clients on my who I do see on the side. But if you want to reach out and contact me, like these are wonderful young adults who are just always looking to like connect with people and um get their interests in like again that's a way that kind of we do research is we see like oh well this person who likes this and this like let's see if any of this calls to us so we're always just looking for those social opportunities and so if anyone wants to contact me and just have a little pen pal a little like Instagram follow we would be so happy to like try to build some sort of connection from there so
Awesome.
All
Thank you
right.
so
Thank you
much,
so
Molly.
much.
all right, you guys are so wonderful. I really appreciate all of your questions. I adore what you do. Madison is a genius and
Oh,
the
no.
sweetest, best
She
person
is.
ever. And I'm just like so happy that you found such a good fit and get to be doing all these amazing initiatives. And I think it's so important to just have conversations and give people the time and space to like just ponder these things. And so I love what y'all are doing. I'm very honored that you brought me on. So thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much for being on our podcast. And we're really excited for, more episodes to come. So continue to tune in. And thanks for listening, everybody.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
And that's a wrap on another episode of AT Talks. A huge thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in. We love making this podcast and building this community with all of you. Remember, the conversation doesn't end here. The team at the Assistive Technology Center at TCNJ is dedicated to supporting educators across New Jersey. If you were inspired by today's discussion and want to bring high-quality, free professional development to your district, Vanessa and Madison are ready to help. To learn how you can partner with the center and build capacity in your school, head over to our website. You can find all the information you need at atcenter.tcnj.edu. And while you're there, we want to hear from you. Visit the podcast tab. There you can send us a question through our Google form, or even better, leave us a voice message on SpeakPipe for us to play live on the show. Be sure to follow us on social media to stay up to date on all our latest events and resources. You can find us on Instagram and YouTube with the handle @ATCenterTCNJ. And don't forget to subscribe to AT Talks on whatever platform you're listening on right now so you never miss an episode. On behalf of Vanessa, Madison, and myself, Brian, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.